What's going on, everybody? It's Jeff here. Welcome back to the channel. All right, quick video. I made one yesterday talking about my thesis behind the stock market when it comes to looking at the fundamentals behind it, some of the catalysts we have, and just where the liquidity lies. And so today I was continuing to do more reading and I was taking a look at AMC and how it relates to the entire market. I'm going to break down for you a little bit of my thesis on what potentially could happen. And the reason why I'm saying this could happen is because the bears and the shorts are always looking for bottom. And in the entire market, I don't want to say quite yet we've seen bottom. Over the next month and a half, I think there are too many upcoming catalysts and events happening, okay, such as the CPI and obviously, the FOMC meetings, that investors are going to be hands off and the bears are going to capitalize on it. However, if there is any sign of change, okay, not only is the market going to rebound, but some of these stocks that are heavily shorted are going to see some massive bounces. And I looked at the SPY chart. I was taking a look at the 3-month chart, and I'm going to go into it for you. And you can see right here that the stock price peaked at the end of March very quickly. Obviously, it was a little bit of a cool off because it was a massive run in just 2 weeks, all right, from the 14th. And then, Powell made some of his statements and continued to just crash the market even more. And bears really jumped on the thesis of we're going to, go to 75 basis point hikes. But that's for another conversation. We've already talked about that. And then you looked at the AMC chart and you think, well, when did we spike last to $34? All right. And obviously it shows 29, so that was a close. And it was the 28th, 29th, the end of March. And you saw this massive run up from the same exact day of the 14th. However, when the entire market popped 8 to 10%, tech maybe a little bit higher, AMC went from 13 all the way to 30 plus. It was a gain of about 200%. All right. And you can look at a couple other stocks that are heavily shorted as well. And stocks that not are just heavily shorted, but actually have volume behind them. If you're looking at some of these insanely low float, or penny stocks that have no value behind them, obviously it's not going to be able to bring it up. But if you look at just natural stocks that are heavily traded, such as AMC, that is short, it was massive rewards. And we've been floating around this 4,200 on the SPX, or let's say 420 on SPY, 418 to 420 on SPY for quite some time. And obviously you can clearly see as of Friday, we broke below that. Okay. However, when the market tends to bounce and we go through this cycling pattern, which nobody's going to expect it. It's just going to completely turn. That's how it always happens. You can expect these stocks that are heavily shorted, that the bears and the shorts are going to think to themselves that they're at a position, okay, where it is going to be really beneficial for them to exit. And I want to digress just one step further. So the individuals and the institutions that have shorted and the funds that have shorted AMC use the narrative of the company financials, of the fact that the public doesn't want to go to movies anymore. And all of the narratives, okay, we'll never see a positive EBITDA again, okay, and all of those narratives were crushed at the end of 2021. And I swear, their motive and their narrative then shifted and pivoted to, okay, well, the Fed has just printed off an entire amount of money. The market needs to pull back. The market's going to crash. Now we're going to ride this one. All right. And if we know that the market is going to pull back, it's going to pull AMC with it. And they've switched to that because AMC's business model has continuing to change and continuing to really give a brighter outlook in future, as every single earnings call, the entire executive team has laid out. So their narrative has slowly started to change. And when you look at the market and they're hanging on for another market crash, another market pullback, that's where things are going to change. So I would expect to see a massive bounce for any stock that is heavily shorted, that has volume behind it, which obviously AMC and GameStop are involved with, okay, if the market does in turn bounce, which inevitably it will. Another thing I will want to just touch quickly based on, as I was reading a little bit further on this, is that we've already seen the first negative quarter of GDP. Okay. And a lot of times recessions only last between 8 and 10 months. And a lot of times, by the time the natural public knows that we are in a recession, it's already been going on for anywhere from 4 to 6 months. The reason being is, in order to actually prove that we are in a recession, we need 2 negative growth quarters. Okay, we could be already in the start of a recession as of a couple months ago. And like I said, the market is adjusting and the market is always forward looking. So the market is already pricing in what is going to happen over the next few months. Okay. And they're going to continue to price months ahead because it's always forward thinking. Now, yes, obviously you have intraday swings based on news catalysts, or if, a heavy Fed member decides to, sway someone's opinion one way. But like I said, the market is always forward thinking. And by the time we know that a recession is already hit, the bounce is already going to happen. So just keep that in mind going forward. I'm going to continue to talk about natural market health and, if what happens if we are in a recession. And also you'd be surprised that half the time that we are in recession, stocks actually outperform, okay, and actually give positive growth going forward. And we'll talk about that in other videos. But in this video, I really wanted to focus on AMC because the narrative has changed. All right. Maybe some these funds and institutions are still betting on AMC is a failing company, but that narrative has changed. So guys, that's it for this video. Enjoy your weekend. See you in the next one.